Okay, and I changed my mind. We're going to talk through this. So let me put some of the decorative pieces aside that I have for this. For your pop-up snowflake, you're going to need the base. Standard A2 size card base is perfect. I'm actually going to insert this into 2 other bases until I get to a 5x7. So my outer base is going to be the 5x7, and then I have another inner base that's, I believe, 4.5 by 6.5, and then I have our 4.25 by 5.5, so standard A2 size. So that's what the snowflake, the pop-up snowflake, is going to sit in. So you need this. You need one of these. This is the main mechanism that makes the snowflake pop. The large snowflake, and you can see it's got a beautiful dotted line down the center, which will come in handy, and 2 slits. You have the second tier. So this is a 3-tier snowflake. So this is tier 1. This will comprise tier 2. And then this will comprise tier 3. You could use instead this because it has a little notch on it like this does. So either one, and you're fine with that. I chose the greetings, no pun intended there, greetings, just to have some fun with the flag coming out. And then you'll need this piece as well. This will work with the 3rd tier also. The first thing that you want to do, and I may refer back to my notes just in case I get lost and basically get confused, because, you know, stuff is just possible. And just, you know, it's just there. All right. The first thing that we want to do is fold our main snowflake, the first layer, in half. And again, just take your time with this. Even though you've got those perforations, you want to just carefully put it in the fold. I'm not using my bone folder. I'm not looking for a direct crease on that. The next thing that you want to do is you're going to interlock your next tier, your second tier. So I chose a holographic, and I'm probably annoying you with doing that, but you can see you have 2 slits here, and you have one here, and you have a notch, 2 slits, a slit there, and a notch. So you want to make sure, now when you die cut it, they both look the same. You want the pretty side of your paper facing up for each, and you can see that they reverse. Here's the notch, and here's the notch down here. You're going to first marry them with the slit just below the notch and slightly push down. I then just carefully turned it one way. The notch went into that slit. And then I turned it carefully the other way, and the notch went into that slit. So that's what your top looks like, so that when you turn it underneath, it looks like this. Okay? I'm going to get rid of that extra piece there. You now want to fold this in half, and it'll hold because everything's interlocking here. And you're going to pick up your first snowflake, and you're going to, these long pieces here, these tabs, you're going to take one down one side of your first tier snowflake. Just fold that first tier a little bit till you get to that second one, and you're going to push the other one in there as well. At this point, I'm going to grab my glue, and you can see there's a score line on that tab. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just on that tab area. and I'm going to push the first snowflake out, and I'm just going to hold that. Just make sure your glue sets. And for me personally, I'm using liquid glue. This is a mechanism that's going to move, and it's just like our shaker cards. When we get a shaker card, what do? We keep shaking it because it's fun. That's the reason of a shaker card, to have that cool interaction. This is going to keep getting open, so this snowflake is going to keep popping up. So I just feel the liquid glue is the best option. Now I'm just going to make sure I have a crease in that. There we go. Now I'm going to come to the other side. I'm just going to put a little crease in there, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold these two pieces. I'm going to get my glue down in there, and then I'm going to pull the tab up till it's even with that slit, and I'm going to push down. And again, especially since I'm using mirror cardstock, the glue is going on the mirror side. It's not going on the paper side. So I want to make sure that this takes hold. And it has. So there are our 2 layers so far. You can see that we have 2 slits left within our second tier snowflake. And that's where this comes in. So we're going to fold it down, create the mountain, and then we're just going to take these tabs and just bend them up, and it'll create, you know, somewhat of a W. So this will be up, and then we've got this mountain here. All right, so you can just form that. Now what I want to do is just straighten those out just a little bit, and I'm going to add glue to one side of this mechanism like that, and I'm going to take our greetings banner and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to press down. And that should hold. Okay, so I die cut this the same color as the banner. I originally had that white, which was fine. I changed that so that it would just meld into that banner. So now, and I'm just going to separate those 2 tabs a little bit and just put a little bit of glue in there and squeeze those so that it's one tab. Okay. So now we're going to take this, and we're going to take our snowflake again, and we're going to put those 2 tabs through those 2 slots. And we're going to bend that slot up, that tab. We're going to put a little bit of glue, and we're just going to pinch that up. And again, we're just going to hold it. No, we're not in there on the other side, but that's okay. We're going to make that go in there so that we can secure it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take that mechanism and we're going to push that into that slit. And I'm just going to put my finger underneath that tab, put a little bit of dab of glue, and then I'm going to pinch that. And again, hold it. Just hold it in place. All right, so now we have our snowflake portion done. Clean off that extra glue. So you can see greetings is coming out, and we have these beautiful tiered layers. Now we're going to set that aside. So this mechanism here, and you can see I was playing with that before. So this mechanism here has a score line, and then these 2, they look like arrows, and it says A, B, and so forth. We want this score line to line up on the fold of the card base you're attaching this to. Just like that. So I'm going to grab a couple pieces of tape. And I'm going to line that up. And I'm just eyeballing the center. Nothing too crazy. And I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. So we're going to make a lot of noise, and the table's going to shake. And the system I'm using is my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Okay, and now we're going to take this off carefully. And you can see when we die cut it, we get 4 more notches, we get an A, and we get a B. So we want to know that orientation. So now it's time for this mechanism. It looks funky, but cool. So what we're going to do with this mechanism, we're going to fold it together. And you can see all these score lines. We got a score line there, there. I don't know if my camera is picking it up because I chose the same color as the base that I'm using. So I have a score line there, 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 and the same on the other side. But we're going to take this, we're going to fold it in half. We're then going to fold down. That's the one score line. We're then going to take these and we're going to push them together. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Now I'm going to hold off, and this is what it should look like. So, burp, burp, burp. All right, I hope that made sense. Now I'm going to hold off folding these until I get this through my card base. So I know this is an A, this is a B, this is a B, and this is an A, because when you die cut this, they're embossed into this piece as well. You want to match those letters to here. So A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. So you're just going to take this piece and you're going to push it through on both sides. And it goes right in. And you can see it's in on both sides. Now, I'm going to do one side at a time. So when you look at this, fold away from your score line in your card base. Same thing here. Get your tabs in there. And then fold away from your score line. I made the mistake before of folding one this way and one that way. And yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that this piece is flush against the base when you add your glue. So it's a little fiddly, but we're just going to add our glue to the underside, because again, we're going to fold away from the fold in our card, and we're going to pull it so it's taut, and we're going to fold over. Same thing here. We're going to pull it and we're going to fold over. Again, making sure we're flush against the card and creating that fold and holding it to make sure that we are contacted and staying there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we want to get those tabs in there. Again, make sure that your base is flat. Get your tabs in. Wiggle them if you have to. Pinch it on the other side and then get your glue on the tabs and then just fold them over. And again, just making sure that you're flush with the base as best you can. It does not need to be perfect. And we're just going to hold that. Again, hold, 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 hold. All right. So I'm just going to push down. And now we have our mechanism in place so that when we slowly close this, you can see it's just automatically folding. I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to press. Don't like to use a bone folder for these types of things. I think it gives it too much of a crease. I want the paper to do what it's going to do naturally through the use of the mechanism. That's just my preference. If you want to use your bone folder, you certainly can. I'm going to make sure that those are glued down. Now from here, you could take a panel to the front for your card, and then another panel, another strip to the back, or another panel here, and then you have your mechanism. I'm just going to do something a little different because, yeah, it's what I do. I just have some strips here, and I'm just going to add them to the back. And I'm just going to use some tape, double-sided tape, because it's just going to be a little quicker for me. Just to put those down. It's a 1/2 inch, and yes, I'm overlapping it because this is what's on my table. And again, just putting a couple pieces down, making sure that they're long enough to cover the mechanism. Strong tape. It's awesome. And I'm just going to trim these down so that I have contact on all sides for this. I've cut 2, of course, 1 for each side of the card. We're going to remove the release paper. And I'm just going to fold this over, and I'm going to put that down. And again, just pressing it down. Again, opening, making sure that everything's functioning okay. And it is. I don't want it to stop functioning. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to remove release papers. And again, just putting that right over those 2 mechanisms. And as I'm pushing, I'm creasing in on that piece. As you continue, you want to make sure you have a flat fold. The mechanism itself will go flat. At this point, you just want to take some glue and put it on this top part, and just on the top part. You're going to take your snowflake, all the tiers, and you're going to fold it in half. I know, scary, right? You're going to lay this, center this down onto your mechanism, and you're going to start closing. Follow the close and press down. That's it. That's all you have to do. I know I haven't opened it yet, but I want to make sure I have contact. Again, using liquid glue on that part so that when we open, we have a beautiful, beautiful snowflake that just comes to life. Just absolutely, and you can see as you close it, it spins so that it goes down into the fold, and then she spins out. Is that not absolutely gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So let's build the card that I'm putting together. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm hoping. So remember, we're putting these in an album, in a scrapbook album. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the center alone, but I want it lined up. So I'm going to take the first one. Again, I'm eyeballing it for it to be center, and I'm going to put a squiggle of glue. That's a technical term in card making. So it's just under a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to bring my card over and I'm going to close it. This will tell me if my idea will work. And when I open it, she's attached, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just adding just a little bit of glue, 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch to this side. Again, using glue. I am a liquid glue person. And again, closing the card, making sure I'm coming in from the back and rolling up to the edge and pressing down. I think there is no better adhesion in my book, in my opinion, than liquid. So when I open this, see how I have that slight opening there? I want that. It's almost like it's floating, but that blue is going flat. That's what we're looking for. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the gray, and I'm going to find a spot. So I'm going to, you know, lightly put it in there. Again, looking at centering this, pulling it just a little bit away. I'm going to add the same amount of glue as I did before. Holding this here as best as I can and bringing the card down onto it. Keeping my fingers crossed. You see how that there's a little cross going on there? Yep. And then bringing it up, and then this should be attached. And it's crooked. It's all right. It's all right. Don't anybody panic. Nobody panic. All right, we're going to carefully tear it, and we're going to put glue on this. We're still going to make this work because I believe in this. All right, so now I'm going to take this, and we're just going to cover that up. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put that right there. It's okay. This is crafting. This is crafting at its best, and you don't give up. Oh, please never, never give up. Once that's set, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. Just adding it to the edges. 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, nothing perfect. I'm going to hold that down as best as I can. It's that, all that goodness that's in there. I'm going to roll it down because you want to make sure that you're putting your card down flat as well. And we're going to hold that, clean off the edges with my nails. So when we open this, it goes flat. That's why I did that. When I did this before, when I was playing around, I had all of these directly glued into the card. So I didn't have that floatiness going on in the card in here. Because now when I open it, I can get that flat so that I get the full effect of the spin. Okay, so that's how I did that and why I did it. You get the best results for, you know what? My greetings is upside down. See? I almost got upset. Oh my goodness. So make sure your sentiment is in the right place. But by doing that and having that floating, these pieces, you're not going to get it to buckle underneath here. You've got to wait for the glue to dry before you start creasing your paper. This way, it's just all floating. And you can see all of that beautifulness just taking effect as you open this. So absolutely gorgeous. It's just beautiful. Okay, so let's now, again, this is not a card that's going to lay flat. It will stand up. And you just have those areas there. This could have gone in a little bit more, but again, it just shifted when I did that. Okay, so what I did was I took the other tab that you could use and cut that tab off to create these little discs. And I took the snowflake, so I used the dark blue that I have in here. And then I used a brad. I went through with a brad. So whenever I use brads, I do like to use my double-sided tape to put that over that brad. And I'm going to do that to each one. I'm just going to cut a piece. And then our last one. And then we'll remove the release paper. And these are going to sit on the inside. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. These are going to sit at the four corners on the inside of the card. So we're just going to press that down and take care of each one. And you want to make sure that you're getting your glue to the outside. Again, the brad in there is going to cause just a little bit of bulk, even though, you know, you push them down onto the table. I'm going to turn that around. And our last. Okay, so that's the inside of our card. I don't want to do anything else. You can write a message here, because again, you can keep the one side up and put a message in here. Your recipient can take a small photo if they want and use the discs as a tuck if they wanted to. They could put pictures in here along that and just have fun. But you can lay this down and be able to write. This will just sit up for you. So let's decorate the outside, and I'm going to grab a clip so that this will stay down. Okay, I really like these paper clips. The edges don't touch the paper, so it's soft. It doesn't cause any issues. Now, what I did for this, I'm still working with the pop-up, and I took the pop-up and die cut it, and then I cut it along that diagonal or that cutout line. I also took the snowflake from the round tab with the same with an iridescent mirror cardstock, and I put that through the brad as well, and that's covering the slit that's in the snowflake. So I'm going to be sitting this here. I want that one to sit on that side. Now I am again going to grab some double-sided tape to put over that brad. I'll need 3 pieces. Again, just to cover it just a little bit. And I'm going to do that for each one. And on the white one, when I cut it in half, I mean, you can still see the jagged edges on one side. I'm okay with that. All right, so I'm going to put the gray one here. I'm going to put a white one here. And I'm going to have it coming off just a little bit. And then the other white one is going to be up here as well. So that's how they're going to sit. So let me add the glue. And get these in place. And we will trim them. And I'm going to make sure that the glue is from edge to edge. Usually I just put glue in the center because I like the way that it folds up, adds a little bit of texture. But again, this is going in a scrapbook album, so I want to make sure that she stays in place. And again, I'm just lining that up on the edge, and I'm going to move with the card. And we'll do our other 2. Okay, so our snowflakes are on. I'm going to open this up and we're just going to trim. I'm going to trim off to the side here so that those pieces with the glue don't go onto my desk. Checking that orientation again of that. I keep forgetting when I look at it. I'm like, oh my God, it's upside down. Nope, we're good. So now we have those and just doing a final press. Again, we have a lot of bulk sitting in there with the mechanism and the brads that I added and all of that. So you just kind of got to work around it. For the sentiment, I chose the Believe die in Christmas Magic. And I used gold embossing powder because I have our brads that are in an antique brass. So I'm going to put this directly on. I did raise in the Magic of Christmas on top of this. And I'm going to put that coming right off of that snowflake there. And make sure we're somewhat straight. Shift it over a little bit and then press. And there we go. That is our first card. Very interactive. The star of the show is the snowflake in the center, but again, just a different way to make a piece. And when you open it, you have that beautiful snowflake just opening up. You have the brads, the four corners that kind of light up, give way, and then again, I'll show you how we will put this into an album for a keepsake. All right, card one down. Thank you so much. I am going to do these separate, as you can see. So stay tuned. Card two will be coming very soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them in one day or if I'm going to spread them out. You'll be surprised. All right, I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Guys, enjoy your art. Enjoy the art that you create and enjoy the process. Have fun with it. Can it be intimidating? Absolutely. This was, but great instructions are provided and it's a beautiful, beautiful result, and make it your own. Have fun with that. The products that I used will be listed down below, along to a link to the entire collection that Bibi created. She did, as always, a beautiful, beautiful job. And I will link to Spellbinders Gallery for even more inspiration, to their YouTube channel, to Bibi's channel. All of that will be down below. And if you have any questions, please leave those down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'd love for you to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and hit the bell so that you can see the rest of this series and how we just take card making and put a little twist to it. That's what I enjoy. Guys, take care, but remember what is most important. Always be creative, and I will talk to you in the next one. Till then, and take care.